First time buying a home or haven't bought a home in a really long time? Well, stay tuned because this video is for you. All right, so it's your first time buying a home or you haven't bought a home in a really long time and you're aware that things have changed. We made this video especially for you. This is gonna be the top 7 most frequently asked questions by people in our area about real estate and what to do when buying a home for the first time, or again, a really long time. So my name is Chris Shores, myself and business partner Owen White Whale Real Estate. You made it to the Living in New Smyrna Beach, Florida YouTube real estate channel. We go over, of course, real estate, all things fun, local, and whatever we can do to help you guys out. Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow. Let us know what videos you want to see in the future, and let's get into it. All right, so question number 1 that we get, I would say, asked most often, which is why we're going to start out with the number 1 most asked question, is going to be, how much can I afford? And it's a very loaded question, so it really, I guess, boils down to how much do you make. So the general rule of thumb is you don't want to buy a house that would equal a monthly payment that is greater than 3 to 5 times your household income. So you want to be very cognizant and aware of that. And the best thing to do is really to be able to talk to a local mortgage lender or loan officer. So if you want, get in touch with us. We'd be happy to put you in touch with them. But I always think it's important to make sure that you deal with the local lending officer because they're in tune and privy to local, state, city laws, and they're just able to have a more hands-on approach. We also always use local lenders as well because we don't like using the bigger banks because we feel like there's a lack of accountability with the bigger banks. A little bit more into what you can afford to. Your lending officer is going to be talking to you terms that you should be familiar with or familiarize yourself with. One of these terms is called PITA, and no, I don't mean the animal people, but P-I-T-I, that is principles, insurance, tax, and insurance. And that is gonna be all summed up into what will be your actual monthly payment. So the banks don't want you to be responsible for paying your own insurance or taxes here in Florida because they think that you won't follow through and do it and put the money in your pocket. So your lending officer will wrap all that up into you, and that is what's called the PITA, and that will be what your monthly payment will be. The second term or acronym you should familiarize yourself with is the DTI, and that's going to be one of the main factors that the lenders are going to be looking into, and the DTI is debt to income ratio. They want to see that you have more income coming in than debt going out. All right, and number 2 most asked question is, how important is my credit score really? So in short, your credit score is really important, but everybody always says it's important, but here's why it's important. The credit score is something that the lenders are going to look at, and it is a risk analysis tool for them. So the higher your credit score is means the less riskier you are as an investment to them. So what this is going to offer you is most times it's going to offer you lower interest rates, better loan terms, different loan types. It can also offer you greater insurance premiums as well. So definitely lots of great reasons to have a higher credit score. Chris, I don't have a great credit score. Can I not buy a house? No, you can still buy a house. That's why it is important to talk with a lender. You are able to buy houses with credit scores lower than a 700. So don't automatically discount yourself out. And a lot of great lenders, especially the ones that we work with credit repair companies that will be able to help get your credit back on track. And a lot of the times that you can get back on track faster than you would think it could be. Sometimes in as little as 3 months. Most of the time your credit can really be fixed within 6 to 12 months if it's really bad. But that's why we always say it's never too early to start the home buying or selling process, because if your credit does need that time to get fixed, you don't want to be starting that when you're trying to buy a house. So if you know you're going to want to be buying a house in a year or 2, get with the credit repair people, and then by the time that your credit's back up to par, should be about the time that you'd be able to purchase a house as well. All right, buy land while you still can. This beautiful piece of property is still for sale in New Smyrna Beach. It is located on South Atlantic and Maryland Avenue. So if you're a Maryland Monroe fan, this may be the street for you. Anyway, back to what this whole video is about. We're on FAQ number 3 of being a first-time home buyer. And that question is going to be, how do I start my home search? So I'm sure that if you're seeing this video on YouTube, you're pretty familiar with how to navigate the real estate market, and have probably found your way to Zillow at some point in time. So that's great and amazing, and I'm happy for you. But what do you do afterwards? And how do do you get to the nitty-gritty of it? It's great that you found the house that you like, but now here comes the what are insurance costs going to be, what are taxes going to be, is this really a good neighborhood? And here's a very important tip that you need to remember and why you should hire a professional real estate agent is what do the future land values and the future neighborhood values look like for this particular property. So when it's just time to sell or you decide to exit the property, are you going to be setting yourself up for a good future exit position? So you don't want to be upside down in the home, and hiring a professional local real estate agent can help you accomplish that. Before you go, you don't have to pay for buyers agents commissions at this time of current filming in November of 2023. That may be changing, but as of right now, you are able to hire a professional real estate agent to represent you as a buyer, make sure everything goes smooth, and the seller pays both the selling agent and the buying agent's commission. So you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting full representation, and you can't compete with free. So make sure you do hire a great local real estate agent in the area. And I'd also like to add, when you're starting your home buying process, you really need to come up with a list of what you absolutely need to versus what would be nice to have. It would be nice to have a 5-story oceanfront home with a jacuzzi on the top and a nice, beautiful slide that took you down to the street to get ready for work in the morning, but is that realistic? Probably not. So what we found working with our clients is that we can find houses that are about 85 to 90% perfect. And we've also found this to be true with people that we've helped actually buy land and build their dream home. When we go see it, it's a beautiful home, it's perfect, the layout's awesome, the land's exactly what they wanted. But then you know what happens? They start telling us the little things they wish they would have done differently. The house should have been a little bit like this so the sun hit the pool better, or they should have put more trees in, or they should have made their kitchen countertops bigger, or the list goes on and on. So when you're looking for your home, just really set your expectations right, that you're probably not gonna find that 100% ready to go dream home. 85 to 90 is what you should be looking for something that's really good to go, turnkey ready. And if you're a handyman and looking for a fix-it-upper, well, make that judgment call yourself, but it can be less the more you're willing to work. If you really have those high expectations, still keep them lower to 85 to 90%. And then you know what, it's your home. You can make it as beautiful as you want and add all the fun, creative things to it after you buy it and change it to the way you like it. Hey guys, before we get to numero cuatro, please remember to like, subscribe, and follow. We would appreciate you, and thank you for watching and staying tuned in with our videos. Let us know what videos you'd like to see, and if you've never been to Florida, tell us what you're looking forward to most about making it to the great state of Florida. All right, number 4, what should you actually be looking for when you are previewing or doing these home tours? So let me ramble a couple of them off to you that you may already know, and then let me hit you with a couple that you may not have thought before. So starting out with, you wanna look at the overall property condition, and you wanna do this when you first pull into the property of the driveway. You wanna be able to get a good overview look of what does the roof look like, what does the curb appeal look like, is there any sort of encroachments or falling down fences or anything that you think may be an issue. Obviously, when you get inside, you'll be able to tell right away, does it pass the smell check? Is there mold, were there pets, was there smoke? And then overall, just a general condition of the home and how much work you're gonna have to put into it to get it brought back up to speed, if any. The second thing to really be on the lookout for is what do the neighbors' houses look like in your immediate neighbors, and then also what does the neighborhood look like to get into your neighborhood? So there's a lot of homes that look really nice and pretty and the immediate neighbors are great, but then you had to drive through 10 minutes of maybe not the prettiest neighbors or the neighborhood, or maybe not the best neighborhood in general. So I say these things for you to be thinking about, again, what does the exit look like for you when it does come time to sell? So just because you're willing to drive through not the greatest areas to get to your house that is pretty, doesn't mean other people are going to want to do that, which may affect your resale value. The other things to be looking out for, if you're a first-time home buyer, does it have room for you to upsize if you need to? Meaning, are you getting like a 4-bedroom home, and do you want kids? Does it allow you to expand your family? Or if you needed to have family come in and move with you, is that something that is able to be done? Speaking of kids, do you want them? If you do, or do you already have them, what do the school systems look like? Are they good A-rated schools? Are the schools improving? Are there new schools coming in? Definitely things that you need to take into account for. Obviously, shopping and convenience is going to be high up on the list as well, on how long does it take you to get in town? How long does it take you to just get the general errands ran and get done on shopping and picking the kids up, or dropping off whatever you need to, doctor's appointments and so on. Future construction in the area. is your area slated for huge, massive development? This is something that you definitely need to look into and talk to your local real estate professional, which again is why you should be hiring somebody local, because they are going to know what's going on. If you buy this beautiful home and then behind you is 500 acres that you thought was your own preserve, and now some big company comes in and pulls a fern gully and builds up this huge development, you're probably not going to be too happy. So do make sure you look on what future development and construction is going to be like. And this includes, a lot of people miss this one with future construction development, is any new intersections, any new roadways, any new major interstate changes that are going to be happening that could affect the overall resale value, the traffic flow, the convenience of why you're buying in that particular area. You know what, because it's such a beautiful day and I love this part of Central Beach side with the old dirt roads, we're gonna stay walking down this road and we talk about FAQ number 5, and that is how do you make an offer? So you're gonna have your real estate agent that you're working with help you make an offer. You guys are gonna talk about price and terms. This real estate agent and your lender will already have become best friends, and everybody knows where you guys are at on the amount of payments that you want to be paying monthly, so that allows everybody to know what your best offer price is going to be. So while we stop here, check out this little guy. Turtle. So your real estate agent will help you put that offer. It will help you put the paperwork together. In Florida, we use the FAR, which is a standard agreement. It's a 13-page agreement written by Florida attorneys for the entire state of Florida, so everything's pretty standard. We're not making up our own contracts or doing anything shifty or fly-by-night. If your real estate agent is not using the standard FAR, you should probably ask why, or maybe get an attorney to review it. Again, looking at the Google reviews to make sure you are working with trusted local professionals. The offer process is pretty easy though, and it really just comes into your real estate agent helping you come up with the true value of the property, making sure that you're not overpaying and that they're really negotiating on your behalf to help you get the best terms as possible. The real estate agent will help you walk through the entire rest of the process after the home is accepted under with the offer that you presented. FAQ number 6, should you get a home inspection? The answer is undoubtedly, unequivocally, 1,000,000,000%. Yes. Whenever you're buying anything big, whether it be a house or a boat or anything, make sure you please get it inspected first. You do this to help hedge your bets, and it's a big thing on risk management, on making sure that you're not buying an apple, or a lemon rather, wrong fruit, a bad apple or a lemon of a home. So you will hire a local home inspector that is certified, and they will go through the home. They'll go through everything top to bottom, front to back, to make sure that there are no major surprises with the home. Now, the home inspection is designed for specifically that, make sure there's no major surprises with the home. This doesn't mean you should go back and nitpick just because there's a chip of paint or the doorknob doesn't twist all the way that it should. These are little minor things to account for in just a general maintenance and wear and tear of the home. And something like we talked about earlier is just planning on that 85 to 90% of the home being exactly the way that you want. Your real estate agent should be able to help and recommend you to hire a local home inspector. These home inspectors are also going to perform the other inspections that you'll need to get insurance, such as your 4-point home inspection, your wood mitigation report, and your WDO or wood destroying organism report. All these are critically important to make sure that the home is in good livable condition, and then that you're not buying into a money pit and that you don't have any big surprises down the road. Number 7, we made it to the end. You made it past your home search, the home inspections, you've gotten pre-approved, you've got your actual loan commitment, and it's actual day of closing. So what to expect? So we're gonna reverse back right before the day of closing. Usually the day before closing, or at least the morning before the closing, you'll do what's called a final walkthrough with your real estate agent. You guys will walk through the property, make sure that everything looks in good working condition the way that it was supposed to be at the time you put it under contract. This means that everything works the way it should be, and if you negotiated in for them to leave the furniture or a washer dryer or whatever it may be, that is actually still there. Same thing, if you didn't want them to leave something, that they took whatever it was with them and they're not leaving you to be responsible for picking it up. So if you're seeing the camera shake, no, it is not you. No, it is not an earthquake. It's just a windy day here, and my tripod only has one leg right now, but we're gonna make it through together. Maybe. I feel like doing this helps it stay stable for some reason, and I'm not sure it's working that well. So big thing to expect on closing costs, which a lot of people don't factor in, and having a really great lender and real estate agent, they should make you aware of this really from the first position or the first thing you do before we even start the home buying process, is factoring in all the finances, and part of the finances are closing costs. So just because you put money down and just because you factored in for what your monthly payment is going to be, you also need to factor in what your actual closing costs are going to be. In the state of Florida, you can plan on spending anywhere between 2 to 5% of the total purchase price of the home that's going to go to actually close the property up. So these are going to be state fees that you're going to be paying, these are going to be mortgage fees that you're going to be paying, and any other incidental things that just are wrapped up into the overall cost of closing. But again, something to really make sure that you're factoring into what your overall expenses are and what they're going to be. So that's going to be additional cash that you're going to need to bring to the table to actually close on the property, is that between 2 to 5% on the overall purchase price of the home. And thanks for hanging out with me on that one, because that was a hefty number 7. But don't leave, there's more. I want to go over some things that a lot of people should avoid and that you should consider as well, and we're going to wrap the video up. All right, so before you guys leave, I really wanted to leave you with something I feel is very important. These are overlooked things during the buying process, and I do think that they are worth staying around and listening for, because it could help make or break the difference of you being happy and enjoying the home that you just purchased. So the first one is going to be your emotions. So you want to do your best to keep your emotions in check, and that's why you are going to be hiring a local lender and real estate agent and any other professionals that are going to help you stay objective with this process throughout. We see a lot of people, emotions are running high. It's your first time buying a home, you're scrambling trying to get all your financial paperwork in order and get those extra hours of work in to beef up what your financials look like. So just keep the emotions in check. And this leads me to my next thing, is you don't want to be house poor. Just because you can afford the house doesn't mean that you should. And you want to be able to enjoy the house. So you need to make it to be the best financial decision for you, that it meets your basic needs. And then just know that you'll be able to grow into that bigger, better dream home when the time comes. But we do see people that will just really push that square peg in the round hole, and they finally got the house they want, and now they're house poor, and they're pinching their pennies everywhere they go, and they're eating hot dogs for the next 3 years because that's all they can afford, because all their money is going into their house. Which just leads me to the last thing that I really like you to consider on making sure that you really pay attention to and factor in, is your maintenance and overall wear and tear costs on the home. If you're a first-time home buyer and you're really squeezing pennies together, you may not want to buy a pool home, because you're going to have to factor in what is it going to cost to keep that pool maintained and running correctly. So are you going to have to pay money to get a pump fix? Or you have money to pay for the chlorine or the salt, all these extra fees that are going to take to keep the pool running and staying clean and looking good. And if you think, oh well, I'll just let the pool go, now that completely defeats the purpose of you buying the home, and it affects your resale value on the back end. Other thing as well, just because you can afford the home but it's got 3 AC units or 2 AC units, that's going to be maintenance costs that you need to factor in, and any other incidental things that you can think of that are going to add to the overall cost of the home. So like if you're buying a home from the 1930s that isn't insulated and your utility bill is running $600 a month, is that realistic for you and your family? Because these are things that the real estate agents and the mortgage lenders are not going to tell you about what the utility bills are going to cost, what maintenance costs are going to actually be. You can do this research on yourself, or you can have your real estate agent help you find it. I know in New Smyrna, you can go to the Utility Commission website, give them a call and find out what people have been paying on their utilities for their home. So you can, again, have more risk management with yourself and finances, but do make sure that you factor these in. They can make or break your month, and you don't want there to be too much month at the end of the money. Take that in consideration. Hope you guys have a great day, lovely week, month, and get ready for Turkey Day coming up. Happy Thanksgiving, and talk to you guys soon.